Inside this video, we are going to go over how you can get yourself the Candy Blossom inside of Grow a Garden Roblox. The Candy Blossom was first introduced during the Easter event back in April. So what you guys need to do is simply go get yourself a time machine, go back to April 18th, 2025 and get yourself one. Okay, so that's gonna be it for this video. I'm just kidding. Now you can't actually get this seed from going to the seed shop or any event shop inside of the game, guys. However, but you can still get yourself this seed. The Candy Blossom is actually one of the most sought after seeds inside of the entire game, guys. You can see that basically it has a sell minimum value of 90,000, guys, which honestly doesn't sound like that much, but when it's actually added with all of the mutations and everything, guys, this thing is OP, all right. And because it actually has a multi-harvest ability, meaning that it'll actually have multiple fruits actually spawn in at a time, and you can continue harvesting all of these fruits and have it regrow consistently, meaning that this is actually a consistent money-making machine. Like, instead of Candy Blossom, this thing should be called Money Blossom, guys. There is actually two different ways that you guys could actually get this. Now, usually you guys could just simply trade for something like this. You could go and, you know, hand somebody the seed. However, you can't actually trade seeds inside of Grow a Garden. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but once you have a seed inside of your inventory, there is no way to get rid of it unless you go and plant it on your garden. These cannot be sold. They cannot be traded, guys. It simply is stuck with you forever. Now, the first method, other than getting a time machine, you know, all right, is actually going over here and simply purchasing all of these common eggs. All right, we will actually place these bad boys down on our farm here. Oh, wait, we're actually full right now. Looks like we got a couple eggs to actually open up. Come on, Auntie Bee Egg, give me what I need. Give me what I need, please. All right, boom. Okay, we got a tarantula hawk. Okay, and then I had no idea there was a pet limit in your inventory, but I guess it's 60, guys. Well, now that I look, all right, I do have quite a lot of pets, guys. All right, now we can finally open these now that I've sold, you know, a few bunnies. We got a normal bee and probably another. Oh, let's go, baby. We got the honey bee. Now that we have all of our common eggs down right now, we simply just need to wait for them to hatch, all right? And then we'll actually get into how the common egg method actually works. So while we wait for those eggs to hatch, let's move on to the next method. This next method is actually harder than the other one simply because it requires some rarer items, guys. But what you need for this other method, guys, is the red fox. All right, the red fox actually comes from the mythical egg, which only has a 7% chance of actually spawning inside of the pet shop. As you can see way over there, there was only common eggs now because the common eggs, well, are common. They always spawn in. But the mythical egg only comes in a 7% of the time, all right? And then once you actually have the mythical egg, you actually only have a 1.79% chance of having the red fox spawn in. But I will be telling you guys, yeah, another method how to get the red fox other than trying to get a mythical egg and then hoping that you actually have the red fox hatch. But let's move on to its ability real quick. You can see that its ability here actually is a scoundrel. All right, that's kind of a mean way to put it, but he attempts to steal or duplicate a seed from another user's plot every 8 minutes. So what this means, guys, is every 8 minutes, your fox would actually leave your plot, run over to someone else's plot, and actually attempt to steal a random seed from them. If you're like me inside of a private server, obviously there's no one else here, so the red fox would be absolutely useless in this situation. So once you do get yourself the red fox, what you guys need to do is basically server hop until you find somebody in your game that has a Candy Blossom. This also would be much easier if you already knew someone who had the Candy Blossom, and then you can simply join their game and then wait in there until the red fox actually steals it. You guys must keep in mind that it it simply says attempt. The red fox would attempt to steal. That means that not every single time it tries to steal a fruit or the seed, it is not going to be successful every single time. Which means that you might have to wait, a little bit, a few minutes, maybe even an hour before it actually goes and steals a candy blossom. Not only that, guys, because it's a random seed from them, say if they went over to my plot, they could steal my candy blossom, or they could steal moon melon, or some peppers, or, this lilac, or some mushrooms, okay? You just simply have to get lucky, guys. However, if the person inside of your game simply only has the candy blossom, that means that you will get yourself the candy blossom, or the red fox will attempt to steal the candy blossom every single time. Also, the more red foxes you have, the greater your chances or the quicker you will be stealing seeds from other people, guys. If you simply cannot, or you've tried many times, you've gotten so many eggs and you just simply cannot get the red fox from the eggs, guys, there is yet another way how you guys can get the red fox. I made a full-fledged video about how to get the red fox, but I'll just briefly explain it right now. If you guys want a more in-depth tutorial, go and watch that video. The red fox can actually be obtained through trading. If you go to the main Grow a Garden Discord server, you can see I simply pulled this thing up right now, and you could already see some people trading for the red fox. This is a highly sought after item, and people love trading it, alright? So you guys have to give up something valuable of your own and then to get the red fox. One thing to note is you gotta watch out for scammers, guys, because there is no official trading. There's only gifting inside of the game. You have to make sure that the people you are trading with have vouchers, and the people that do have vouchers, that their vouchers are legit. So please be careful out there, guys. Alright, just in time, we have the common egg method. You can see that this one only has 30 seconds left on it, but we're gonna move on anyway. So simply you want to get a bunch of common eggs, alright, just as many as you can, and then start cracking them open. Alright, so we open up all these common eggs, and let's see what we get. We got the dog, that's good. The bunny, that is not good. Alright, we do not want the bunny. Alright, we're opening up the last one, guys, and we got yet another dog here. The dog is good, it's just not quite what we wanted. What we were actually looking for was the golden lab, however, the dog works just fine. Alright, so you can see that the dog, it comes from the common egg as we just got, alright, and its ability is every 60 seconds it has a 5% chance to dig up a random seed. The only difference between this and the golden lab is instead of a 5% chance, the golden lab has a 10% chance that'll dig up a random seed, making the golden lab twice as good as the normal dog. And the reason why this is good inside of this game, guys, is simply because basically every 60 seconds you'll have a 10% chance of actually digging up a random seed. Now this seed could be anything. It could be, a beanstalk. It could even be a strawberry. Alright, it could be the ember lily, or of course it could be a candy blossom. It might take a long time to actually get yourself the dog, it might take a long time for the dog to actually get yourself any of these seeds, guys, but the more dogs that you have, the better your chances of actually getting it. And this could be a good method to try while you're waiting to get the red fox, and then you could go and steal it from other people. You guys could also try getting a bunch of dogs, alright, or golden labs, and simply going AFK inside of the game, and then just simply sitting and waiting until you guys finally get all of these good seeds. Same thing is true with the red fox, guys. You can basically sit inside of the game and wait until your red fox goes and actually steals a bunch of good seeds. And well, that's how you get yourself the candy blossom. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys all later. Turn on those notifications while you're at it, and goodbye.